You have just moved to Germany, Switzerland, or Austria, and now you need to register your address, speak to your landlord or neighbors, open a bank account, buy groceries, and ask for help. But suddenly, every small interaction feels difficult when you don't know what to say. So here is the good news. You don't need perfect German to begin handling these situations. You need practical phrases to get you started. Not random vocab, not complicated grammar, but phrases you can pull out when you're standing at the Bürgeramt or at the bank and your brain suddenly goes blank. So in this video, I'll teach you practical survival phrases for 5 essential areas of daily life. And I'll also show you how to plug different words into these phrases so you're not just memorizing one sentence, but you're learning patterns you can actually use and adapt to what you need. And if you want a complete list of 100 practical German phrases you can start using right away, comment practical phrases guide below. I'll send you my free guide including flashcards and audio recordings so you can hear the pronunciation and start practicing immediately. So comment practical phrases guide below to get a copy. And if you're new here, hallo und herzlich willkommen bei Speak Fluent German. My name is Salome. I'm a native German teacher and I help English-speaking beginners build practical German for real life. Alright, let's start with situation number 1. At the Bürgeramt. This is where you usually go for your Anmeldung, so your address registration. And when you walk in, one of the first things you may need to say is Ich habe einen Termin. Der Termin means the appointment. And in German, the stress is on the second part. So Termin. Not Termin, but Termin. Repeat after me. Ich habe einen Termin. The next phrase is very important when you're registering your address. For this, you can say, Ich möchte mich anmelden. I would like to register myself, but in this context, they will know that you're referring to your address. Sich anmelden means to register yourself, and here the word stress is on the first syllable. Anmelden. Anmelden. Now repeat the full phrase after me. Ich möchte mich anmelden. And when you hand over your passport, you say, Hier ist mein Reisepass. Hier ist means here is, and der Reisepass means the passport. The EI in Reise sounds like I, yeah? So repeat after me. Hier ist mein Reisepass. For the Anmeldung, you often need the confirmation from your landlord that you live at this address. For this, you can say, Hier ist meine Wohnungsgeberbestätigung. This is a long word, but also a very important one. Wohnungsgeberbestätigung. Now let's break this down slowly into syllables. Wohnungsgeberbestätigung. Hier ist meine Wohnungsgeberbestätigung. Now, if you need your registration certificate, you'll say, Ich brauche eine Meldebescheinigung. Ich brauche simply means I need, and you can use this for many other contexts as well. And die Meldebescheinigung is the certificate that confirms your registered address. Let's break this down into syllables. Meldebescheinigung. Meldebescheinigung. So repeat after me. Ich brauche eine Meldebescheinigung. As I mentioned earlier, you can use Ich brauche with many other things as well. For example, ich brauche einen Termin. Ich brauche Hilfe. So this is a very useful pattern. You simply say, Ich brauche, and then add the thing that you need. Now, if you need to sign a form and you're not quite sure where to sign it, you can ask, Wo muss ich unterschreiben? Wo muss ich unterschreiben? Wo means where, and unterschreiben means to sign. This phrase is very useful for paperwork, and as you know, Germany, Switzerland, and also Austria really loves their bureaucracy. So repeat after me. Wo muss ich unterschreiben? Now, if you're unsure what comes next, you can ask, was muss ich jetzt tun? Jetzt means now, and tun means to do. You can use this question when you need the person to guide you through the next step. So repeat after me. Was muss ich jetzt tun? And if you feel stuck, use this phrase. Können Sie mir bitte helfen? Können Sie is the polite way to say, can you? And this phrase works in offices, shops, banks, and many other situations. So repeat after me. Können Sie mir bitte helfen? So for the Bürgeramt, you want to focus on appointment, registration, documents, signing, and asking for help. That alone already gives you much more control in the situation. Now let's move on to the next situation, at the bank. When you first move to Germany, Switzerland, or Austria, you may need a bank account for your rent, salary, insurance, or phone contract. So here is a simple and useful phrase in order to do exactly that. Ich möchte ein Bankkonto eröffnen. Das Bankkonto means the bank account, and eröffnen means to open. Yeah, so for example, to open an account. Repeat after me. Ich möchte ein Bankkonto eröffnen. A common everyday bank account in Germany is a Girokonto. So you can also say, ich brauche ein Girokonto. Yeah, brauchen, quick reminder, means to need, and das Girokonto is the everyday account people usually use for salary, rent, and regular payments. Now you can also plug other words into ich brauche. Like for example, ich brauche eine Debitkarte. Oder ich brauche Online-Banking. So this is why ich brauche is such a useful phrase. You can simply use it whenever you need something. So before your appointment, you may need to ask which documents are required. For that, you want to ask, welche Unterlagen brauche ich? So repeat after me. Welche Unterlagen brauche ich? And when you want to say that you have your passport with you, say, ich habe meinen Reisepass dabei. Dabei means with me or with me here. This is very useful when you're talking about documents you brought to the appointment. So repeat after me. Ich habe meinen Reisepass dabei. You can use the same pattern with other documents as well. So for example, ich habe meine Meldebescheinigung dabei. Or ich habe meinen Arbeitsvertrag dabei. So the pattern is ich habe plus the document that you want to talk about and dabei. Now to ask about fees, you can say, wie hoch sind die Gebühren? Die Gebühren means the fees. And this is a very useful and practical phrase, not only before opening a bank account, but really for signing any kind of contract or agreeing to a service. So repeat after me. Wie hoch sind die Gebühren? Now, if you want to specifically ask about online banking, you can say, kann ich Online Banking nutzen? Nutzen means to use. So repeat after me. Kann ich Online Banking nutzen? And if the appointment becomes too difficult in German, you can always ask, sprechen Sie Englisch? Sprechen means to speak, and Sie is a polite form of you. So this is appropriate with bank staff, office workers, and people you don't know well. All right, so repeat after me. Sprechen Sie Englisch? So with these bank phrases, you can say what you need, ask about documents, mention the documents you brought, ask about fees, ask about online banking, and ask for English if necessary. Now let's move to situation number 3. At home, in your new apartment building. Maybe you meet a neighbor for the first time in the hallway and you want to ask a few things about how things run here. And a very simple and friendly first sentence is Hallo, ich bin neu hier. Neu means new. So this is a very natural phrase when you want to introduce yourself for the first time to your neighbors, for example. So repeat after me. Hallo, ich bin neu hier. Then next you can say your name. For example, ich heiße, meaning I am called. Yeah, and then you add your name afterwards. Repeat after me. Ich heiße. And if you want to say which apartment you live in, say ich wohne in Wohnung, and then you add your apartment number. Wohnen means to live, as in to live somewhere, and die Wohnung means the apartment. So add your apartment number at the end. Repeat after me. Ich wohne in Wohnung. And if you need to ask something, start with Ich habe eine Frage. Eine Frage means a question. And this is a very useful phrase before asking about something in the building to kind of prepare your neighbor mentally that you're hitting them with the question. Yeah, so repeat after me. Ich habe eine Frage. If you, for example, want to ask about the rubbish bins, you can say, Wo sind die Mülltonnen? Wo sind means where are, and die Mülltonnen are the rubbish bins or trash bins. So repeat after me one more time. Wo sind die Mülltonnen? And if your building has a stairwell cleaning schedule, which a lot of times they do have if it's a smaller building, you can ask, gibt es einen Putzplan für das Treppenhaus? Gibt es means is there or are there. Der Putzplan is the cleaning schedule, and das Treppenhaus is the staircase. So repeat after me. Gibt es einen Putzplan für das Treppenhaus? And if you need to find something that your landlord maybe hasn't really shown you yet in the building, you can use the phrase wo ist, and then add the place or the thing that you're looking for. For example, wo ist der Keller? Or wo ist der Waschraum? Now, usually your landlord will show you all of these places, or you can also use these questions when you're doing the apartment viewing with your potential landlord. Speaking of phrases you need with your landlord, when you have a problem in the apartment, a very useful phrase is this. Blank funktioniert nicht. Something isn't working. For example, die Heizung funktioniert nicht. Die Heizung means the heating, and funktioniert nicht means is not working or is not functioning. So this is a very important phrase, especially in the colder months in Germany, Switzerland, or Austria. So repeat after me. Die Heizung funktioniert nicht. And of course, you can also plug in other things that might not work. For example, der Schlüssel funktioniert nicht. Das Internet funktioniert nicht. So the pattern is the thing that is not working plus funktioniert nicht. By the way, if these are exactly the kinds of phrases you need for your relocation, comment practical phrases guide below. I'll send you my free guide with 100 practical phrases plus flashcards and audio recordings so you can practice them and start using them in daily life right away. Now let's move to situation number 4, shopping and paying. You'll use German almost immediately in supermarkets, bakeries, pharmacies, and small shops. And one of the most useful polite phrases is Ich hätte gern, meaning I would like to have. You can use this phrase basically for any situation where you are requesting something, like for example, ordering something at a bakery or cafe, but also asking for information in a ticket shop, for example. So repeat after me. Ich hätte gern. Now let's plug something in. Ich hätte gern eine Brezel. Ich hätte gern einen Kaffee. Ich hätte gern 2 Brötchen. And if you want to ask whether a shop has something, you can say, haben Sie blank? Haben Sie means do you have in the polite form. And then you add the item you're looking for at the end. So repeat after me. Haben Sie, for example, haben Sie Hafermilch? Haben Sie eine Tüte? So again, you can take one useful phrase and then plug in what you need. And when you're looking for something, for example, in a supermarket or in a shop, you can ask, wo finde ich? Wo finde ich? That means, where can I find? For example, wo finde ich die Kasse? Wo finde ich die Milch? Wo finde ich die Toiletten? Now to ask about the price, you can ask, wie viel kostet das? Wie viel means how much, kostet means costs, and das just means that. Yeah, so repeat after me. Wie viel kostet das? And at the checkout, this next one is very useful. Kann ich mit Karte bezahlen? Mit Karte means by card, and bezahlen means to pay. Some places still prefer cash or simply don't offer credit card payment, so it's always useful to ask before paying. So repeat after me. Kann ich mit Karte bezahlen? Or if the cashier asks how you want to pay, you can simply answer mit Karte bitte. Repeat after me. Mit Karte bitte. And when someone offers you a receipt, a bag, or something extra that you don't need, you can just simply say Nein, danke. Nein, danke. Now, words for the receipt that you'll hear in day-to-day life can be a little bit confusing because we have many of them. So here are some examples for what to listen out for. The receipt can be der Beleg, der Kassenzettel, der Kassenbon. So the cashier might ask you, brauchen Sie den Beleg? Or möchten Sie den Kassenbon? Now let's move to situation number 5, asking for help when you don't understand. This one is one of the most important survival skills. You will need these phrases at offices, appointments, shops, on the phone, and when talking to neighbors, and when interacting in daily life in general. So phrase number 1 is, ich verstehe das nicht. Verstehen means to understand, and this phrase is simply honest and very useful in almost everyday situation when you want to communicate that you don't understand something. So repeat after me. Ich verstehe das nicht. And if someone said something too quickly, you can ask, können Sie das bitte wiederholen? Wiederholen means to repeat. Yeah, this phrase is polite and very useful when someone gives you information too fast. So repeat after me. Können Sie das bitte wiederholen? And if the person is speaking too quickly, you can say, können Sie bitte langsamer sprechen? Langsamer means more slowly, And sprechen, we've learned this one earlier, means to speak. So this is one of the best phrases to learn as a beginner because it gives you a chance to stay in the conversation in German while also slowing things down. So repeat after me. Können Sie bitte langsamer sprechen? Now, if you need something written down, you can ask, können Sie das bitte aufschreiben? Aufschreiben means to write down. This is especially useful for addresses, names, appointment times, phone numbers, and instructions. So repeat after me. Können Sie das bitte aufschreiben? And if you hear a word or sentence you don't understand, just simply ask, was bedeutet das? Bedeuten means to mean, and you can use this phrase when you need a simple explanation. Repeat after me. Was bedeutet das? And if you want to explain your level of German, you can say, ich spreche nur ein bisschen Deutsch. Nur means only, and ein bisschen means a little. This phrase helps the other person understand why you may need them to slow down or why you may need them to repeat things. Yeah, so for that you can say, ich spreche nur ein bisschen Deutsch. And another very useful phrase that goes along with that is, ich lerne noch Deutsch. Noch means still, and this phrase often makes people, more patient, or they can really tell that you're trying to put in the effort to learn the language. Ich lerne noch Deutsch. Alright, so hopefully you feel more equipped to handle these everyday situations, and remember, you do not need to master all of these phrases after watching this lesson once. You can always come back to this video, re-watch the sections that are most relevant for you, pause after each phrase, and practice saying out loud. You do not need to know everything before relocating to Germany, Switzerland, or Austria, but having prepared and practical phrases gives you something very important, a starting point. Instead of freezing, you have a sentence ready. Instead of switching immediately to English, you can try to ask in German first. And even if the conversation is not perfect, you will begin to feel more independent in daily life. So comment practical phrases guide below, and I'll send you my free guide with 100 practical German phrases plus flashcards and audio recordings so you can start practicing and using them right away. And if you want to learn even more practical and essential phrases to help you navigate daily life with ease and confidence, watch this video next where I break down the most useful daily life German phrases for beginners. Das ist alles für heute. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen und bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss!